I'd like to wish everybody a good Erev Shabbos. Today is also Pesach Sheni, and it's customary to eat matzah today. I'll tell you as an aside that we made our matzah order before the pandemic, and we were anticipating Kanai Nahara, a full house, and a lot of company. So we have plenty of matzah left, boxes upon boxes. So we could use a Pesach Shlishi, a Pesach Revi'i, just a little humor. Anyway, the talk this past week has been about when can we get back to shul. And as we speak, the national organizations are working on it. The OU put out their guidelines today. I just saw on my email the Aguda also put together some guidelines. I think it's important to say that right now we're not there yet on any level. And God willing, when the day arrives, and hopefully we're talking about weeks and not longer, we have to begin as a community to re-enter the shuls. We have to have consistent uniform policy, and that way we ensure our safety. So the hope is that we'll have the guidelines and tailor them to our interests. And of course, the most important thing is to remain safe and protect ourselves and others. Many have unfortunately lost their lives during this pandemic. I saw a source a few weeks ago that those who die, Jews that die in a magefa, in a plague like this, they go to Olam Haba. They immediately go to their share in the world to come. One could say there is an expression of Kiddush Hashem. They die as Jews, they live their lives as Jews. When it is something which is so widespread, it takes on that element of Kiddush Hashem. Rav Chaim Shmulevitz has a vort which is well known, and it's really derived from this week's Parsha, the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem, B'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael. Rav Chaim says that as great as the act is when somebody is ready to commit the ultimate sacrifice of surrendering one's life for Kiddush Hashem, what's even more demanding is to live one's life al Kiddush Hashem and not to surrender to the challenges that can emerge during the course of difficult periods. In other words, many have really paid the ultimate sacrifice. Tamidei Chachamim, Gedolim, who have passed away. Great people, leaders of communities, and aside from their position in the community, fathers, mothers, grandparents, siblings, it's tragic, and words cannot really express the depths of the tragedy. But at the same time, the story is about those who are living al Kiddush Hashem, accepting the circumstances and not surrendering to the desperation, getting up every morning and davening, putting on talis and tefillin, women davening, taking on more mitzvos, worrying about each other, calling each other. It's not easy to be really cloistered, being so confined in one's home for so long. We never anticipated that it would last this long. Having said that, there's a tremendous Kiddush Hashem in the fact that Baruch Hashem, we're keeping the mitzvos, we're keeping Shabbos, maybe in some ways, as we mentioned Wednesday night in our shir. It's a better Shabbos experience, as paradoxical as that may sound, but we're able to really absorb the Kedusha and the serenity of Shabbos. And that can be the same when it comes to learning and when it comes to the mitzvos of chesed, which are not now being done perfunctorily, but we really understand how great the challenge is, and we worry about each other. So let's not forget that we are, Baruch Hashem, fulfilling the great mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem, and maybe this in our lifetimes will be our greatest, our finest moment of Kiddush Hashem. I wish everybody to remain safe and continue good health. Let's stay the course, and in Meretz Hashem we'll see each other in shul. B'mheira v'yameinu. All the best.